Good morning. Today we are going to talk about the distributive property. And now in the distributive property we have four cases. Let's talk about the first case. Number 1, use the distributive property to find. Here letter A, 35 times 64 plus 35 times 36. How can we know here it's a distributive property? First, in distributive property we have two operations. The first operation all the time is multiply, and the second operation it's gonna to be minus or plus, addition or subtraction. So we have multiply with addition or multiply with subtraction. How can we solve this case? First, in this case we are gonna to collect. So in case 1 we are gonna to collect. Collect what? Collect the repeated number and the sign. Collect the repeated number and the sign, which is multiply. In letter A here we have 35 times 64 plus 35 times 36. What is the repeated number here? The repeated number is 35 multiply. So we are gonna to circle it like this and then write it only one time. So we have 35 times. And then what are the rest now? We have 64 and plus and here 36. So let's open the bracket, write 64 plus 36, then close the bracket. And now we have finished the distributive property. So write the name of the property, which is distributive property. And now we have 35 times. Solve the bracket in the calculator. Solve the bracket on the calculator. 64 plus 36, which equals 100. So 35 times 100 equals 3500, which belongs to n and closure property. And now let's solve letter B. 15 times 45 plus 15 times 55. Here search for the repeated number and multiply, which is 15 times. So circle 15 times and write it only one time like this. And now open bracket, write the rest, which are 45 plus 55, and close the bracket. And don't forget to write the name of the property, which is distributive property. And now 15 times. Solve the bracket on the calculator. Write on your calculator 45 plus 55, which equals 100. So 15 multiplied by 100 equals 1500, which belongs to n and closure. And don't forget to write the name of the property. And now in letter C, 87 times 43 minus 87 times 36. Search for the repeated number, which is 87. So circle 87 and multiply. Circle 87 and multiply. Write it how many times? Only one time. So 87 multiply. Open bracket, write the rest. We have 43 minus 36. Close the bracket and don't forget to write the name of the property, which is distributive property. Distributive property. And now we have 87 multiply. Solve the bracket on calculator. 43 minus 36, which equals 7. So we have 87 times 7. How can we solve it? You can solve it on calculator. Write 87 multiplied by 7, which equals 609. 609 belongs to n. Now, do we have finished? No, we have to write the name of the property, which is closure property. And now open your booklet page 16. In letter D we have 24 times 37 plus 24 times 35 plus 24 times 28. Here search for the repeated number and multiply. The repeated number here is 24 times. So circle 24 times here, 24 times here, and 24 times here. Write it how many times? Only one times. As we said before, in distributive property we are going to collect the repeated number and multiply. And now we wrote 24 multiply, then open bracket and write the rest. The rest here we have 37 plus 35 plus 28, then close the bracket. Now, do we have finished? No, we have to write the name of the property, which is distributive property. And now 24 times. Solve the bracket on your calculator. So write 37 plus 35 plus 28, which equals 100. So 24 multiplied by 100 on calculator, it will be 2400, which is belongs to n closure. And now in letter E, 76 times 123 plus 76 times 12 minus 76 times 35. So let's circle the repeated number and multiply, which is 76 times 76 times 76 times, like this. And collect the 76 and multiply, then write it only one time. So we have 76 multiply. Open bracket and write the rest. 123 plus 12 minus 35. Then close the bracket. Here the name of the property is distributive property. And now 76 times, write 123 plus 12 minus 35 on the calculator. It will be what? It will be here 100. So 76 times 100 equals 7600, which is belongs to n here closure property. And now let's talk about case 2. In case 2, here we are going to make what? Here we will multiply by 1 and collect. Multiply by 1 and collect. How can we do this? Let's see in letter A. We have 19 times 99 plus 19. Here, let's collect the repeated number and multiply. We have 19 times, but here we have 19 only. Can we collect the 19 without the multiply? No, we have to put multiply. So multiply by what? Multiply by number will never change the 19. So 19 times what give us 19? It will be times 1. So we wrote times 1. Why? Because the number will be as it is. So 19 times 1 will be 19. And we need the times. So we are going to make it times 1. Then circle 19 times. So now we have 19 times 99 plus 19 times 1. Here, 19 times 1 will never change the number, but we are going to take the multiply here with us. So collect the repeated number and multiply, which is 19 times. Now open bracket and write the rest, which are 99 plus 1. And don't forget to write the 1. And now close the bracket. Here is distributive property. And now let's solve it. 19 times. Solve the bracket. 99 plus 1 equals 100. So here 19 times 100 is 1900, which is belongs to n closure. So here in this question, first we are going to collect 19 times. But in our question we have 19 times 99 plus 19 only. So how can we put the times? We are going to make it times 1. Why? Because 19 times 1 equals 19, which is the same number. And then solve like our steps. And here in letter B, 59 times 67 minus 59 times 57. Here is the first case, or case 1. We are going to collect the repeated number and multiply, which is 59 multiply. So collect 59 multiply, 59 multiply, and write it only one time. So we have here 59 multiply. Then do what? Open bracket, write the rest. We have 67 minus 57. Close the bracket. And now write the name of the property, which is distributive property. So here 59 multiply 67 minus 57, which equals 10. So 59 times 10 equals 590, which is belongs to n closure. And never ever forget to write the name of the property. And here let's solve letter C in page 16. 17 times 36 plus 17 times 65 minus 17. So let's collect the repeated number and multiply. The repeated number here is 17. So 17 multiply 17 multiply, and here we have 17 only. Can we collect it? No, we have to write times 1. As we said before, we have to collect 17 and the sign, 17 and the sign. So here make it times 1, because 17 times 1 equals 17, which is the same number. And now circle 17 times here and collect the 17, write it only 1 times. So 17 multiply. And now open bracket and write the rest. Here our bracket, write 36 plus 65 minus 1, and don't forget to write the 1. And here close the bracket. Now write the name of the property, which is distributive property. And now we have 17 multiply, solve the bracket on calculator. 36 plus 65 minus 1, which equals 100. So 17 times 100 equals 1700, which is belong to n closure property. And now let's solve letter D on page 17. Here we have 13 times 31 plus 13 times 68 plus 13. Here also is case 2. Here collect the repeated number and the sign, which is 13 multiply. So circle 13 multiply, circle 13 multiply, and here we have 13 but without multiply. So what shall we do? We have to put times 1, and now circle 13 times, or 13 multiply, and now collect it and write it only 1 times. 13 times, write like this. And now open the bracket and start, write the rest. 31 plus 68 plus 1, and close the bracket. The name of the property here is distributive property. And now 13 times, solve the bracket on calculator. 31 plus 68 plus 1, which equals 100. And 13 times 100 equals 1300, which is belongs to n. And don't forget to write the name of the property, which is closure. And now let's talk about case 3. In case 3, we are gonna to distribute. How can we solve it? Let's see here in letter A. We have 59, open bracket, 67 minus 57. As we said before, in the distributive property, we must have multiply and minus, or multiply and plus. So here we don't have any multiply. No, we have it. We have it here. It's a hidden multiply, or a hidden sign between the 59 and the bracket. So when we don't have here the sign and we have bracket, so it will be a hidden multiply. So 59 times, open bracket, 67 minus 57. And now let's distribute the 59 times over the bracket. How can we do this? It will be 59 times 67, the first number. So let's write it, 59 times 67. Then put the sign, which is the minus. Put the sign. Here is minus. And now write 59 times 57. So distribute the 59 over the 57. So here it will be 59 times 57. Now, do we have finished? No, we have to write the name of the property, which is distributive property. And now use your calculator to solve it. 59 times 67 first, and write the answer, which is 3953. Then put the sign, which is the minus, and now solve 59 times 57 on your calculator. It will be 3363. And now put this on calculator, calculate the answer. 3953 minus 3363. So the answer will be 590, which is belongs to n closure. So how can we solve case 3? Here we are going to distribute the number and the sign over the bracket. So let's see in letter B here. We have 15, open bracket, 45 plus 55. As we said before, here we have a hidden multiplying. So let's distribute 15 times 45 here. Then put the sign, which is plus. And now 15 times 55. Like this. don't forget to write the name of the property, which is distributive property. And now let's calculate the answer. Can we put all of this on calculator and write the final answer? No, we have to solve it step by step. So let's calculate 15 times 45, which equals here 675. Then put the plus. And now 15 times 55 on calculator, it will be 825. And now let's calculate 675 plus 825. So the answer will be 1500, which belongs to an closure property. And now in letter C, we have 50 times 17 minus 11. Can we put it on calculator and find the final answer? No, we have to write with the steps, or we have to solve the question using distributive property. Here we have bracket, so it will be case 3. So let's distribute the 50 over the bracket. So it will be 50 times 17. Then put the sign, which is the minus. And now 50 times 11. And now here distributive property. And now let's calculate the answer. 50 times 17 equals 850. Put the minus, and 50 times 11, it will be 550. Let's calculate 850 minus 550, which equals 300. And 300, it belongs to n, so closure property. And now let's solve letter D. 16 times 71 minus 54. Here we have bracket, so we are going to distribute and use case 3. So 16 multiply 71, put the sign, minus 16 times 54. Here the name of the property is distributive property. And now let's calculate 16 times 71 equals 1136. Put the minus. 16 times 54 equals 864. Let's calculate 1136 minus 864 on calculator. The answer will be 272, which belongs to n, closure. And now open page 18 and let's solve. Number 2, use the distributive property to find. In letter A, we have 45 times 80 plus 45 times 20. Here we have case 1. So we are going to circle the repeated number and multiply, then collect this number. We have 45 multiply and 45 multiply. So write it only one time, then open the bracket. Write the rest, 80 plus 20. Close the bracket, then write the name of the property, which is distributive property. And now 45 times, calculate the bracket, which equals 80 plus 20 equals 100. And now 45 multiplied by 100 on calculator, it will be 4500, which belongs to n, closure property. And don't forget to write the name of the property. And now in letter B, 22 times 78 plus 22 times 32 plus 22 times 10. Here also is a case 1. We are going to collect the repeated number and multiply. The repeated number and multiply here is 22. So circle 22 times, 22 times, 22 times. And write it only one time, like this, 22 multiply. Open bracket and write the rest. 78 plus 32 minus 10. Close the bracket. Now, do we have finished? No, we have to write the name of the property, which is distributive property. And now 22 multiply. Calculate the bracket on your calculator. 78 plus 32 minus 10. It will be 100. So 22 times 100 equals 2200, which belongs to an closure property. And now in letter C, 64 times 57 plus 64 times 42 plus 64 only. So here we have case 2. We are going to collect the repeated number and make times 1 for the missing number. Here we have 64 times 64 times and 64 alone without the times. So we are going to make it times 1 first, then circle the 64 and multiply. And now collect the repeated number 64 multiply like this. Open bracket and write the rest. 57 plus 42 plus 1, and don't forget to write the 1. And now close the bracket. The name of the property is distributive property. Here we have 64, and now calculate the bracket. 57 plus 42 plus 1 on calculator. The answer will be 100. So 64 multiplied by 100 equals 6400, which belongs to an closure property. And now choose the correct answer on number 3. In letter A, 0 over 5. Let's write it on the calculator. 0 over 5 equals, it's 0, which means 0 divided 5 equals 0. And now in letter B, 7 over 0. Write it on your calculator. It will be math error, and math error means undefined. And here in letter A again, 8 minus 8 over 4. Put it on your calculator. It will be 0. And now here in letter B, 1 over 3 minus 3. Put it on your calculator. It will be math error, which means undefined. Thank you for listening. Hope it was a nice and easy lesson.